Rain and Elise right now.
Welcome back. I'm Rain Chocolate, and I'm joined with Elise Rainoff, and we're going to be commentating on the Psychotic Tendencies versus COF Alliance. So Psychotic Tendencies brought a Golem, Claymore, Simi, Double Serb, Ashimu, Double Flycatcher, Saber, and an Ibis.
Yes, and Catastrophic Overview Failure, and I'll be saying COF from now on because that's way too many words, brought a Double Navy Scorpion, Claymore, supported by a Scimitar, Jackdaw, Double Sveppel, Double Bomber with a Kitsune as rounding out their support. And Psychotic Tendencies, they knew that Ibis was strong, right? So they brought it. They saw the previous match. They're like, yeah, we need this Ibis in our life. So they definitely brought it. And the teams warped in at basically a 90-degree angle from one another. So they're very, very close. Much closer than the COF team really wants to be. But they do have this really durable Navy Scorpion core. So it should be a pretty interesting match. A bit of an uphill battle probably for Psychotic Tendencies.
Yeah,
But,
so COF,
but no worries, they're posting up a storm in local.
Yeah, they so as Sutonia mentioned, that they actually do, I think, what was it, shitpost on Reddit, and local chat has actually been running non-stop with what looks like to be Jita spam, to where the GMs have said, okay, let's be serious now. But back to what actually matters, winning the AT, COF all warped in a blob, whereas TISHU actually warped in pretty staggered, with obviously their Logi usually furthest away. And then same, but like whereas COF, like I said, they're all in the blob, so their Logi is exactly with them, which could be good, could be bad, depending. I'm not sure if they're gonna try and primary the Simi or if they're gonna try and primary something like a Kitsune, because we all hate jams.
Yep, so the TISHU team, they really need to kill out this Kitsune and these bombers really, really fast. They've got the tools to do it in this double serve, double flycatcher support wing of theirs, so they can do a lot of alpha with missiles. So hopefully TISHU can knock those ships out really quickly, and that represents a lot of damage from COF. These bombers, they're definitely glass cannons, especially against battleship hulls. You're talking about 650, 700 DPS with rage torps for only 3 points. So the match has started now. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays out. You can see both teams have a similar defense bar and a similar control bar. COF are applying their control much better, and the COF Kitsune has jammed out the Scimitar, or is attempting to jam out the Scimitar and the 2 Serbs. Really smart move.
Yeah, and so it looks like immediately the support wing of TISHU is going in and focusing on this Purify to try and get rid of that bomber DPS and to get rid of that.
Kitsune down. That was great work by the Flycatchers, who didn't get jammed at all by this Kitsune. They just flew under the radar, and exactly as they were supposed to do, TISHU have killed out the Kitsune and one of the Purifiers. They're going for the last Hound right now. Really good target calling for them.
They have lost a Flycatcher already, so COF is actually trying to defend their support wing. It doesn't seem like anything has been applied to these battlecruisers, battleships, except a little bit on that Claymore.
Oh, and this Shield Ashimu, yeah, that's right. That's this Shield Ashimu is is getting repped right now. He got that final Hound a web on him, and he instantly exploded with thanks to these Serbs. And it looks like COF are focusing on the final Flycatcher for TISHU, but their jobs are done. They don't really need to live anymore. Obviously, TISHU would love to keep their Flycatcher up if they can, but it took out the Kitsune and the Purifier and the Hound already, so he's good to go.
Yeah, they're trying to rep and keep this Flycatcher alive. It's not like they just, well, he's dead now, but it's not like they just abandoned their poor support wing like sometimes happens with these comps.
Yeah, didn't want it anyways. And this Ashimu is currently nosing down this Navy Scorpion to try and kind of weaken his tank a little bit. Not sure if that's the right play. You generally want to throw it onto the Scimitar, especially when you've got a pretty mobile Ashimu like you have here with TISHU's Ashimu. It goes 2.1k. Oh, it's a really fast Ashimu, actually.
Yeah, so even though COF lost their bombers right away, they're doing some pretty heavy work upon this support wing. They've lost, TISHU lost all their T3Ds. So all that's left now is an Ibis and then the Ashimu and those Serbs.
Yeah, COF are doing a pretty good job here dismantling the support wing. They're keeping the battleships for last. And oh, they're going for the Ibis. The Ibis is tanking. The Ibis is tanking, and it's going 2.7k. It's I don't know what they're trying to do with this Ibis, but it's working.
It's really interesting to see because the Ibis obviously doesn't have a lot of HP, so when you watch those simi reps land, it just goes from full to down, full to down. They finally broke through it. But this Ashimu, they might pay for it trying to rep that Ibis, because now this Ashimu is in structure.
Yeah, that was probably not the play by the Tissue Logi. You probably don't want to rep the Ibis as running away from everyone else. And as Rain predicted, the Ashimu is now down. The shield Ashimu has fallen. This actually puts Tissue a little bit in a bad spot because they have no means of catching anyone. I mean, their golem can shoot anywhere on the arena, but it's really lackluster DPS. They really needed that Ashimu to hold down the simi so the Serbs could, I guess, kill these Swiffles and Jackdaws, which is what they're going for right now.
Yeah, so this seems to be just a support war where it's who can kill the enemy support first, because obviously once you're done with that, it's then just a battleship brawl and see who can actually apply and pilot their battleship the best. A lot of people really underestimate the support wing, but it seems like COF and Tissue, neither of them are making that mistake.
Meanwhile, Tissue has gotten their Cerberus webbed down by the Swiffle, so Ivy Lash is tackled. He will be COF's primary target right now. He is holding for now, but I don't know if he'll be able to hold for that much longer. These Navy Scorpions can pump out a lot of damage, and you can see he is painted and webbed. And it looks like he's micro-warp driving, so a SIG is massive. These Navy Scorpions can apply perfectly.
It's really interesting too because it doesn't look like these Serbs are shooting either of these Sweeples holding them down. So they must be on reload. So it's, I think, what is it? Rapid light missile launchers are a 30-second reload. So
yeah, something similar to that. And man, these Serbs really want to have their damage back. I don't know if they have enough DPS with just the two of them to bust through a Swiffle. As Tony was saying in the studio, they're really strong ships.
They are also smart bombing. So the Serb had bots on him, the little rep bots, and it looked like the Sweeples were actually smart bombing the rep bots. And
Tricky little Sweeples. As you can see, the Serbs finally got a reload off, but now with only one Serb left, he cannot break through the Scimitar's reps. The Golem does appear to have newts on the COF Scimitar, so COF might lose a little bit of rep power, but I think they're going to be perfectly fine here.
So this Tissue Logi is actually in danger. These Zweeples killed the Cerberus and immediately started gunning for the Zweeple, or for the Simi. And they managed to catch up to it. And now he's still smart bombing. I don't know what the intent of that is because the only rep bots that are around are actually friendly rep bots, so I think he might be messing up there.
I mean, sometimes you just want to look really fabulous with your little smart bombs running. And this is an XLASB Scimitar, so you will see it bouncing up and down. Both teams are attacking one another's Scimitars right now. It looks like Tissue's going to lose theirs a little bit sooner.
Not sure. COF is pretty low.
Tissue seems to be running his ASB. He's actually not repping back. He's holding onto his ASB charges a little bit too much. You don't want your shields to get this low. But he's probably going to come out on top. Akmak, it looks like he's Akmak, the Tissue Scimitar, is going to go down right now. He got really close to the edge of the arena, where there is no hiding from these Navy Scorpions who can hit quite far themselves.
I was going to say, the attack bar on COF is a lot larger than Tissue's. So even though Tissue still has their battleship up, it's obviously not going to be able to do much.
Alright, talking about attack bar, okay. I think Tissue may have burned out some of the guns on their golem, or some of the launchers on their golem, because their attack bar went to literally 0. It didn't even have anything there for a little while.
It's jumping back up, but they're not applying very well. It doesn't look like they're doing anything with it. This golem's almost now he's in armor. He's not able to keep himself up.
Yeah, golems on TQ in general combat, they're really good because of Bastion mode. Bastion mode not allowed in the Alliance tournament, thank goodness. So this golem really just melting to this pressure from these Navy Scorpions. And it looks like COF, they might have lost the posting war in local, but they are definitely winning the match.
I don't know what more to say to that. I guess coming into this match, I had no idea if Tissue and COF were trying to win the AT, or if they were trying to win the most swag in local to see who could be who could shitpost the most. But obviously, COF, their head was in the game, and it looks like they're clearly going to pull ahead on this, even though their Simi's taken some damage. Now it's just more of cleaning the field.
The match started really well for Tissue. I think they had really incredible target calling, and they executed incredibly well. Their double flycatcher, double serb support wing was really, really aimed at killing these bombers. And their bans were actually on point too. They banned the Guardian and the Oneros, hoping that COF would bring a shield comp littered with bombers, as we've been seeing a lot in this meta. And they kind of got a little bit what they wanted. Unfortunately, after that, the rest of their setup couldn't deliver too much on the rest of the match. I think the shield Ashimu that was flying around didn't really live up to its potential. Oddball ship for sure, but I think it could have done a little bit more.
And now that the match is ending, they are continuously posting in local yet again. Although, oh crap! Now I forgot what I was gonna say. My bad, team.
Posting is always more important than anything else. As TISHU are losing their last Claymore, their last ship, which is the Claymore, to have saved the tankiest, most useless ship for last. You can see it doesn't even have guns fit. It's probably running 5 links or something. The attack bar is all the way down to 0. It doesn't even have drones left. And TISHU will be eliminated from Alliance Hornet 14. But that does mean that they can leave their alliance behind and join a different one if they wanted to.
I was gonna say this. I think this was the first match that we've seen today on the EVENT channel where people did not bring a flagship. So sadly, we don't get to. Sadly, we don't get to see a flagship die in loot. But they are calling me out in local now because of their posting. So yes, I think you guys should stop posting and focus more on flying.
No, that's fine. This was all part of the plan. They don't want to join their alliance anymore. That's for sure. COF right now are just finishing off the Claymore and looting the field. There is 1 minute remaining. This match may go to time, actually.
Apparently the Ibis had nice loot in it. I'm expecting a Plex on the kill mail. Although these teams, even though this was a pretty good brawl and a pretty good fight, they are actually, like most EVE players in the AT, they are showing pretty good sportsmanship in local.
Indeed, a very mannered, competitive nature in EVE Online. 30 seconds remaining. This Claymore might live. He might live to see the time. And obviously, if he does live, his ship will be saved. And as I say that, he is dying horribly. So way to go, COF, for making me look really dumb.
So congrats to COF for continuing on the Alliance tournament, and see you next year, TISHU. And with that, we'll send it back to the boys in the studio.
Hey guys, welcome back to day 2 of Alliance Tournament 14. I'm now joined by Jintan and Rocket X, and I'm again Apophany for you. So we had a really cool match there. We had COF bring a really nice Navy Scorp comp, and then TISHU bringing the Golem with a more anti-support team with the Flycatchers. They also had a Shield Ashimu in there, which I find a little weird. Let's talk a little bit about the lower end of those two teams. We saw the TISHU there brought Flycatchers just to try and kill support, whereas COF brought Svepels, the more T3D heavy wing that are a bit more durable. Rocket, why don't you tell us a little bit about Svepels versus this anti-support and what we saw there?
Right, so in the TISHU team, what we're looking at is the 2 rapid light Serbs, and then they're supported by light tackle. The idea presumably would have been to go for the enemy support and kill both their T3Ds and any frigate-sized tackle they had. It looks like they managed to kill the frigate-sized tackle very early on, but then they were unable to kill the Swipples. They would have needed some way to slow the Swipples down. During the break, we briefly discussed the use of the defensive mode on the Swipple to reduce the sig radius on it and improve its survivability in situations like that. I don't think that once they couldn't kill the tackle, they really didn't get much further with the fight.
Now, Jintan, the Ashimu, a wonderful, wonderful ship, 2 points less than the other pirate faction cruisers this year, down to 9 points, same as a Navy cruiser. However, it brought in a shield setup. The Ashimu is a ship with 4 mids and has a bonus for webs. So let's say that you want at least 1 web on your Ashimu. Let's also assume that you want a prop mod on your Ashimu. That leaves you 2 slots to fit a shield tank, at best, for a shield ship. What are your thoughts on the Ashimu in general, and also bringing it, especially in a shield comp?
Obviously, bringing an Ashimu in a shield comp is a very risky move. Like, you either have to have no buffer and all resists, which is obviously not ideal, or you bring it with some buffer but no resists, which means it's going to go down like a ton of bricks if something actually does start to shoot it. You also sacrifice a lot of DPS because you can't really get good range or good application from an Ashimu in a shield form because you don't have your mids free for any tracking computers or webs to control the range of your enemy. So I think in that situation you would have been better off just bringing an Osprey Navy issue or another Navy cruiser that would have been able to apply damage with the rest of their comp. It seemed really out of theme for the rest of it and didn't go towards the overall goal of killing those Swipples.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we've got you again with us today, Jim. You know, dressed up a bit. I mean, that tie especially really sets the outfit all together. We do have a bit of an update from the other matches. We have Agony beating its only Pixels in the catch-up match. I don't think that's going to be a massive surprise. Agony, very well known on EVE Tranquility for being a fantastic small gang team. That obviously, we see a lot of small gang teams being fantastic in the Alliance tournament. And Pixels we hadn't really heard that much about. Still, we are going to be going into the next match, which is a match I'm really looking forward to, which is going to be between Waffles and Dreamfleet, and we'll bring you that after these announcements.